Hello everyone, we'll be continuing with cytoplasm functions and properties today. This is Cell Biology Part 13. I am Dr. Aprajita Rao. For all of you listening to me for the first time, I really thank you for doing so and I assure you that you'll enjoy it. But if you have not heard Cell Biology Part 12, I think you'll find a little bit of difficulty in understanding this video because all the terminologies I'll be using in this video I have already discussed in part 12, so better go back, watch that first and then come to this one. So we have already discussed that cytoplasm is the fluid that fills the cell. So next, moving on to the functions. First is cell shape. So because of the cytoplasm, the cell has its volume, and if we did not have the cytoskeleton, again a terminology that I used in the past video, the cell would be flat and an empty membrane. So why it is important for the cell to have shape and volume? That is because its organelles might collide against each other, resulting in damage. That is, it acts as a shock absorber. And with cytosol filling it up, the organelles are suspended in their respective places. And if God forbid, one cell bumps with another cell, the inner structures are held in place and they are cushioned very nicely. Again, it is a shock absorber, keeping cell and its inner contents safe. So this doesn't mean that cell is just a big balloon of liquids with parts floating around inside. Cytosol is actually very complex in nature. It has membranes that divide the whole cell into various compartments in which the respective organelles are placed. So apart from cell shape, it also acts as a storage unit. These materials are actually needed for the cell, but not right now. If you see this picture, there is a food granule here. So the cell right now it is not hungry. Okay, so when it will be hungry, it will utilize this food storage. So what I mean here, all the components that the cell needs but not right now are stored and used later on. So this is done by the cytoplasm. So what kind of molecules are stored? They are proteins, oxygens, necessary building blocks, even metabolites and waste products. So if the cell cannot dispose right now, so this metabolic waste is kept inside the cytoplasm safely. Safely, I mean that in a way that it does not mix with the rest of the cell, because then it is all a waste. Okay, again the whole cytoplasm has a lot of waste inside it, and the cell again has to go through the whole procedure of separating the waste again. So it is a granule is made and the metabolic waste is kept aside, and when the cell can actually dispose it off, it does so. Apart from that, it also has many enzymes, and these enzymes are very important in carrying some important metabolic activities like glycolysis. So what is glycolysis in detail you will learn in the later lectures and in the later classes, but just for an introduction, it is a way the cell prepares its food. So what it happens is, the sugar which is there, it is used by the cell, or it is burnt in oxygen by the cell, and this gives energy to the cell and helps the cell survive. So this basic procedure is glycolysis. Cytoplasm is more than a filling. So these enzymes that are suspended in the cell, they also help to break down the larger molecules. So there is this one larger molecule, the enzyme came and it broke it down into two smaller molecules. So why do we need to break them into smaller molecules? So the reason is because these smaller molecules can be easily consumed by the cell as compared to one large molecule. So in the past slide I just told you about glycolysis. I forgot to mention one thing. Only the enzymes for glycolysis are present in the cytoplasm. Okay, only the enzymes. I'm not going into detail of glycolysis because it itself is a huge topic. So the next function of the cytoplasm is material transport. So it allows the materials inside the cell to transport between the organelles. So if one organelle needs A and the second organelle has it, so how does it move from here to here? He has what this chloroplast needs. So what happens? This molecule will go into this. There is this flow going on here. If you can see, the arrows are here. So this molecule will go into the cell it will go till here and the chloroplast will take the molecule. So this is how the material is transported, and the terminology given to this process is cytoplasmic streaming. Very important, please pay attention to the terminology. So this is a process where the cytoplasm churns and creates a flow through its cytosulfur materials. We just saw how it is happening. Okay. Now apart from that, the cytoplasmic streaming, it also helps in the transportation of metabolites, and because this is just in the detail of the example I just gave you, that one organelle might produce an amino acid or a fatty acid that the other organelle needs, and that is how it goes to the other organelle. And apart from that, the cytoplasmic streaming also helps the cell to actually move. So most of the cells, what they have cilia, this tiny hair like projection right here, and some have this flagella, this tail like structure. Okay, but this some cells like amoeba, they don't have anything at all. So how do they move? They move with the help of cytoplasmic streaming. So this is how they move. If you see, this is how the cytoplasmic streaming is taking place. Okay, so this helps the cell to move forward. That we are going to deal with is endoplasm and ectoplasm. You can see it here in the diagram. Endoplasm is concentrated inner areas. Okay, and ectoplasm, it is not that concentrated. Okay, it remains uncertain how the varied components of the cytoplasm interact to allow such movement, because no science, no molecules have yet been found. So the flow of cytoplasmic components plays an important role in many cellular functions, which are dependent on the permeability of the cytoplasm. So moving on to the properties. First, very important is cell signaling. Okay, so the ability of the cell to perceive and correctly respond to the microenvironment. Okay, that is known as cell signaling. That is how the cell takes the signal. Okay, how it responds to some signal. So why this is important? Because this property, it forms the basis of the development, tissue repair, immunity, and homeostasis. So if there is any error in such in how the cell perceives the cellular information, we'll have many diseases like cancer, autoimmunity, and diabetes also. So just like we know, if we are moving in a car, okay, and there is a red light, so what we'll do, we'll not move ahead. Okay, and if in the same car we are moving and there is a green light, so we'll definitely move ahead. This is how we perceive this signal. So similarly, the cell, what it does is, if there is this, the kid has a wound. Okay, so the message travels to the cell. Okay, this cell, through the help of this some streaming or whatever, it passes the information to this cell. Okay, and this information goes to the brain, and the brain stimulates us, and we either cry or we take our hand back or leg back wherever the injury is occurring. So this is how the cell perceives the signal. So if the cell is not perceiving the signal and we have put our feet on the thorn, so we'll keep on putting our feet on the thorn and get more injured. The body will get more injured. So it also helps as a defense mechanism. So while small signaling molecules like calcium ions are able to diffuse with ease, okay, the larger molecules, they require aid, and sometimes this is also an active process. So flashback active, that means it will require ATP. Okay, so the irregular dynamics of such particles have given rise to various theories on the nature of cytoplasm. So what nature of cytoplasm I'm talking about right here? First theory is cytoplasm as sol and gel. So this is currently the most accepted, not completely accepted, the most accepted theory. Sol is, what is sol? Sol is solution. Sol and solution. Okay, I'm not telling you that sol is solution. I just want to tell that the consistency is thinner as compared to gel. Okay. So it is colloidal in nature. Colloidal, the consistency is thinner as compared to gel, which is a solid mass. So the cytoplasm, it can also act as a sol, that is a colloidal mass, and it can also act as gel, like a solid mass. So if you see in this diagram, okay, the outer part, that is the ectoplasm, it is behaving as a gel. So gel is more solid, so it will not move, and the sol part is moving. So this is what they say is the basis of cytoplasmic streaming right now, but we do need more proofs to verify it. So because of this, the differences in the solid and the fluid stages, there is the level of interaction takes place. Now another new concept is cytoplasm as glass. So what do they say? That the cytoplasm behaves like a glass forming liquid approaching the glass transition. Okay, so greater the concentration of the components, the less the cytoplasm behaves as like a liquid. It is just that if you are making suppose you are making a smoothie, okay, you put half a cup of milk in the fruits, okay, your smoothie will come out thicker, and if you put 1 cup of milk in the smoothie, it will come out thinner as compared to the earlier one, right? So the same thing we are trying to tell here, that the greater concentration of organelles in the cytoplasm, the less it behaves like a fluid, okay, and it starts behaving like a solid glass. It starts becoming thicker and thicker. Okay, so it is thought that the cell's metabolic activity is able to fluidize the cytoplasm to allow the movement of such larger cytoplasmic components. So what we are trying to tell is that the cell's ability to vitrify in the absence of metabolic activity, that is, it becomes like glass or freezes, it is actually a defense strategy for the cell. Okay, so it helps prevent damages while allowing the transmission of small proteins and metabolites, so the function can keep on going on, and the cells helping the kickstart growth upon the cell's revival from dormancy. So that's all about cytoplasm you need to know right now. The cytoplasm is a very huge topic like any other organelle. So this is all you want to know, and if you have any doubts, please feel free to post. Do like the video, share it, and please subscribe to Edupedia World. This is me, Dr. Aprajita Rao, signing off. Take care. Enjoy.